Hey everybody, it's Kate Wild from 91 Vocals, and in this tutorial I'm going to run through how to prepare your home studio to record high quality vocals, including some do's and don'ts of home recording. Finding the sweet spot. Walk into the room that you plan to record in and start by clapping your hands, clicking your fingers or vocalizing. Listen to the acoustics of your room and identify where the least amount of sound reflections are coming from. The sound that travels out of our mouths produces waveforms. These are tiny vibrations in the air which travel all around the room, and they love big, open, flat or hard spaces to bounce off of. Those bouncing reflections then get picked up and recorded by our microphone just milliseconds after our original vocal sound. In short, it doesn't sound great, and it creates phase and unwanted frequencies which can be tricky to remove in our recordings later. Find the sweet spot in your room and set up your recording station there. I recommend the very corner of your room, a set back part of your room, or a closet wardrobe. If you're still contending with these reflections, here's a list of home studio treatments to remedy them. Number 2, home studio treatment. Things you can use to help are rugs, pillows, curtains, quilts, duvets, towels, soft furniture, gobos, a reflection filter, pop shield, microphone isolator, DIY vocal booth, or a professional freestanding vocal booth. But let's go into a bit more detail. Lay down rugs or carpet, especially under where the vocalist is going to stand to record. This will help dampen reflections and minimise underfoot noise such as noisy neighbours and creaky floorboards. It will also help to absorb any movements your vocalist makes whilst performing. Pad windows with blankets, pillows, and heavy-duty curtains. If you have an unused microphone stand, extend it into a T-shape and fold a heavy duvet or quilt over it. This can form the basis of a DIY vocal booth or a protective barrier between your setup and the unwanted noise source. If you're using a closet as your makeshift vocal booth, open the doors and drape towels or quilts over the top of the two doors. Be careful and use your ears to decide if it sounds boxy or unpleasant. A/B test a quick recording inside and outside of your closet booth to determine which sounds better. Completely deadening the sound isn't desirable. You don't want it to sound like you're in a cardboard box. If you have a large room, purchase rock wool or fiberglass insulation panels and mount them to your walls. You'll need to cover them in some material first, as fiberglass can get into your skin if you're not careful. These dense panels are said to absorb a larger frequency range than the smaller foam acoustic panels that we often see in home studios. They're surprisingly much cheaper too. The square foam panels are still effective and are definitely better than nothing at all. Use a reflection filter. This is an accessory which attaches to your microphone stand. They range from $50 to $350, but they all do a very similar job. I record a lot from home, so I use the SE Space reflection filter or an Aston Halo. Both are made from quality, durable material and curve nicely around the vocalist. Since the microphone is mounted to the accessory, make sure it sits deep inside and not exposed, as this will otherwise void its benefits. Go a step further and place a cushion over the top for added protection from noises coming from above, such as noisy neighbours. Some people opt for microphone isolators such as the Chaotica eyeball. These are pretty pricey balls of foam, and while it may go some way to prevent reflections getting to the microphone, personally I find these accessories muddy the natural brightness of the microphones inside them. Just food for thought. Fill your surrounding space with sound absorbing and diffusing items and materials. The more sparse your space, the better chance sound has at bouncing around the room. Soft furniture, however, will absorb sound, while items such as a filled bookcase will actually help to diffuse sound. Diffused sound is sound that is broken down or has been slowed down by things getting in its way. If you have a bit more money to spend, consider a gobo acoustic panel. This is a large, heavy-duty panel, usually on wheels, which is perfect for isolating acoustic reflections, but it also gives you mobility without having to fix anything to your walls. These do come in at upward of $500 for a single panel though. For good measure, I'll throw this in. If you do happen to have a spare $10,000, you can always buy an assemblable recording booth, such as the Tatrix booth kit, and then you can play the most expensive game of human-sized Lego. Number 3, recording faux pas. The 4 biggest mistakes which result in low-quality vocal recordings are not accounting for background noise, electrical interference, clipping audio, and recording artifacts. Let's break these down. Background noise is any noise that you didn't intend to be recorded. Sometimes it can be avoided, but other times you just need to minimize it. The most common of these is headphone spill. That is, the playback sound which escapes out of our headphones and travels back onto the microphone along with the vocal. Other sounds might include televisions, household chatter, low rumbles from passing cars, neighbours, outdoor construction, noisy children, animals, air conditioner units, or even the whirring sounds of our tabletop external hard drives and computer fans. Electrical interference. Mobile phones are known to cause interference with our electricals, and it's best to have these put on silent while recording anyway. The low buzz or hiss that you can sometimes hear when you turn the gain on your microphone all the way up is known as ground hum. There will always be some low-level sound, but it can be made worse by bad earthing or overloaded electrical sockets or power extension cables. You can reduce electrical hum by plugging straight into your main power supply and unplugging other things that you aren't using. Large power plugs from things like AC units, even if powered off, are usually the culprits of electrical hum when plugged in. Another trick is to minimise your input level or gain staging and maximise the output through a preamp. That way, you minimise the signal that you don't want coming in and instead amplify the signal that you do want. Clipping audio. This can be caused by a combination of factors, including mic placement, vocalist technique, and the level of your input gain. Set your gain stage by singing the loudest part of the song and making sure that it doesn't clip or go into the red on your DAW's volume meter. From there, your vocalist should be encouraged to use mic technique, coming closer to the microphone for quiet performances and backing off on the louder notes. Artifacts. These are vocal or technical anomalies which aren't meant to be there. This can include plosives or pops. These are unvoiced puffs of air on the microphone performed by the vocalist, particularly when sounding the letters P, K, and T. Use a pop shield to reduce these. Clicks. These are the unpleasant wet mouth noises that you can hear when singers are very close mic'd. They can just stand back from the microphone a little to avoid this. Bangs. This happens when a singer unknowingly hits the microphone stand when performing or causes vibrations through the base of the microphone stand by stomping their feet. And finally, crackles. These are caused by faulty cables or dodgy inputs on our audio interface. Always do a sound check and a rough run through with your vocalist before starting. It will save you a ton of time in the long run. To summarise, here are the do's and don'ts of home recording. Do find a spot to record with limited reflections. Treat your room accordingly to minimise those reflections further. Turn off AC units, TVs, and close windows or anything else that might be making noise while recording. Monitor for any artifacts or faulty equipment while recording. Do not have the volume too loud in your headphones. Have too many things plugged into the same power supply. Kill reflections so much that you get a boxed-in sound. Or spend over and above before trying some of these adjustments first. So that was a guide on how to prepare your home studio for recording high-quality vocals and some things to watch out for when getting ready to record. Thanks for watching, and leave a thumbs up on the video and subscribe to our channel. We have more production videos and tutorials weekly. As always, I hope everybody has a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!